Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, good evening and welcome to News Hour. I am Abubakar Bangura in the headlines. British High Commissioner to Sierra Leone commends Sierra Leone for completing its second periodic review. Officials of National Social Security and Insurance Trust NASIT explained to SLBC about their activities. Chief Nursing Officer reaffirms commitment to improve the nursing professional conduct and no cost recovery drugs at Connaught Hospital since June. All these stories and more, including business and sports news, lined up here in this edition of News Hour, which begins right now. The newly accredited British High Commissioner to Sierra Leone, Guy Warrington, has commended Sierra Leone on the completion of its second periodic review earlier this year. The British envoy also welcomed progress Sierra Leone has made in the short space of time. High Commissioner Guy Warrington made the commendation whilst presenting his letters of credence to President Ernest Bai Koroma at State House. Razia Bashkamura sent in this report for News Hour. High Commissioner Guy Warrington said it is a true pride to represent the United Kingdom in a country where their histories have been closely intertwined ever since the British government helped found what was to become Freetown in 1787. He maintained that the personal and cultural ties between the two countries are stronger than ever today between the governments and in the wider economic, social and cultural ties that link their citizens. Mr. Warrington noted that the partnership between the two countries has been strengthened through troubled times from the end of the Civil War to Ebola. Mr. Warrington went on that the successful fight against Ebola showed the best Sierra Leone in responding to a crisis and is proud that the United Kingdom was at the forefront of supporting the country's response, putting £427 million worth of support to help end Ebola and deploying thousands of military and civilian personnel in the process. Mr. Warrington paid respect to the bravery and commitment of thousands of Sierra Leoneans who were involved in the fight, and he offered his sincere condolences to those Sierra Leoneans who sacrificed their lives and those who lost friends and relatives to the disease.
I would like to take this opportunity to commend Sierra Leone on the completion of its second Universal Periodic Review earlier this year. I welcome the progress that the country has made in a short space of time, and as Sierra Leone embarks on the next 5-year cycle, the UK will focus its efforts on helping you and your government to strengthen human rights, as we are currently doing on decriminalising libel laws, and to use your phrase, to help you to tackle the Ebola of corruption, so that your country can flourish as it should.
Receiving the letters of credence by which Her Majesty the Queen of the United Kingdom has accredited Guy Warrington as High Commissioner to the Republic of Sierra Leone, President Ernest Bai Koroma accepted with deep appreciation the kind sentiments Mr. Warrington conveyed to him and his government on behalf of his distinguished head of state. The President in turn conveyed to Her Majesty the Queen his warm and fraternal greetings and sincere best wishes for her continued well-being and happiness, especially as she celebrates her 90th birthday, and wish the government and the people of the United Kingdom continued prosperity. He intimated High Commissioner Warrington that the United Kingdom and Sierra Leone have long-standing and deep-rooted ties stretching as far as the 19th century, and that the historic park still powers the relationship between Britain and Sierra Leone. President Ernest Bai Koroma went on that when Sierra Leone was threatened by civil war in the 90s, Britain played a significant role in ending the war and in rebuilding Sierra Leone after the civil strife, in restoring the country's democracy, in fighting Ebola, and today Britain is a key partner in the government's post-Ebola recovery program.
We are also pleased that the UK recent decision to leave the European Union will not change the commitment to Sierra Leone, and we welcome the potential this increased focus will have on our socio-economic development. As we strive for a more resilient and fairer Sierra Leone, my government anticipates much stronger relationship in trade, investment, in building productive capacity, and in Sierra Leone becoming the preferred investment destination for the UK private sector.
In another development, President Ernest Bai Koroma also received the letters of credence from the ambassador-designate of the Arab Republic of Egypt to the Republic of Sierra Leone, Maha Al-Mahdi Attaya Al-Sayed, at State House. Presenting his credentials, the Egyptian envoy maintained that it is also his honor to convey to His Excellency and the government and people of Sierra Leone the warmest greetings and sincere wishes of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the Egyptian government, and Egyptian people for a prosperous and flourishing future. Ambassador Al-Sayed assured President Ernest Bai Koroma of Egypt's undivided support, understanding, and cooperation.
Your Excellency, President Ernest Bai Koroma, it will be my honorable duty and solid intention as the Egyptian ambassador to the Republic of Sierra Leone to extend to Your Excellency my undivided support, understanding, and full cooperation.
Accepting the letters of credence, President Ernest Bai Koroma expressed delight to receive the letters by which His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has accredited him as ambassador of the Republic of Egypt to the Republic of Sierra Leone. President Ernest Bai Koroma also acknowledged with profound appreciation the kind sentiments and warm fraternal greetings Ambassador Al-Sayed has conveyed to him, the government and people of Sierra Leone. The National Social Security and Insurance Trust, NASIT, has explained to staff of the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation about their activities at Broadcasting House, New England in Freetown. According to the Director of Administration and Human Resources of the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, Thomas Sowa, the reason for the meeting was as a result of complaints by staff regarding their NASIT contributions. Marma Denken Kanu reports.
Administration and Human Resource, SLBC. His office has been receiving a lot of questions from members of staff about issues affecting them with their NASIT contributions.
The Chief Nursing Officer and Midwifery Officer, Matron Sanatu Koroma, has reiterated her directorate's commitment to improve the ethical and professional conduct of nurses at the level of international standards. She made the disclosure during an orientation meeting of the new midwifery technicians at the Leone Guest House at Aberdeen in Freetown. Our health correspondent Joseph Stanley has the story.
Senior healthcare providers Matron Sanatu Koroma noted that they have challenges but must chart the way forward with the necessary structure that will make nursing a more viable institution. She reminded her audience that there was no structure for nurses and reiterated the justification for the ongoing development on career pathway in building an efficient human resource capacity in all health facilities. She spoke on Pillar 1 of the Post-Ebola Recovery Plan, which speaks about the patient and health workers' safety and infection prevention control, which they had never before, and poses challenge for the Ministry and Nurses Directorate, resulting to the death of 153 nurses. Matron Nkrumah said the policy developed is first in the history of the Nursing Directorate, adding that they have reviewed the 2 curricula for the midwifery schools in Freetown and Makeni with support from the WHO. The Chief Nursing and Midwifery Officer maintained that the policy will be operationalized by a strategic plan and disclose plans to move on an assessment of the 13 nursing schools to provide supervision, checks and balances with criteria where necessary to meet the expected standard.
Well, we had a 5-day meeting in which we wanted to develop 4 documents. Now, we were aware of the fact that we have so many challenges, but you may agree with me that where you have a workforce over 7,000, there are bound to be challenges. And so we have sat together as a ministry, as a directorate, and as a board to see how we can address these challenges. And if memory can take me back, last year in November, we developed an accreditation tool for individuals and organizations who may want to open up schools of nursing. And as I speak, that document is ready. It's now in the printing stage. As soon as it's printed, we are going to use that document to assess all the existing schools in the country.
Consultant and advisor WHO Chika, in her presentation on the rationale and why the curriculum, observed that the state enrolled community nurses have not been meeting the needs to get them deployed in rural communities, and that the new training program will help build on their midwifery content in 12 months period and reduce maternal and child mortality. Main highlights of the program include the rationale and implementation and the way forward.
The management of Connaught Hospital has told SLBC that cost recovery drugs have not been supplied to the hospital since June. This disclosure was made when SLBC went to get a first-hand information on the free healthcare initiative for persons with disability. Francis Danema reports.
In October last year, the Chief Medical Officer wrote to all district medical officers and medical superintendents to provide free health care for persons with disability, quoting the 2011 Disability Act. The Act makes provision for persons with disability to have access to free health care. SLBC's findings revealed that persons with disability can access the facility but have challenges in getting drugs prescribed by medical officers. Senior matron Connaught Hospital, Aissatou Kamara, noted that her administration is aware of the Disability Act. She outlined the challenges the hospital is facing in providing the free health care for persons with disability.
Now the Disability Act say them people here them for benefit from the free health care because they fall under the free health care category. But we self will get some key challenge because not to all the drugs them where the people they want the hospital get. But the one they way there we go able to forgive them. The one they way not there pass we will get forgive them prescription for let them go buy them.
The deputy in charge of Connaught Pharmacy, Mark Nkrumah, told the SLBC that the free healthcare drugs available are for children under 5 years, stressing that pharmacy has not received cost recovery drugs up till now.
In the case of cost recovery, I'm not really want to talk much about that, but for what I understand is that come here, it's a June, I understand say cost recovery drugs not available at all. Waiting on the happen at the hospital management don't they buy drugs and sell at a minimal cost because we're not going to sell the same price with the other pharmacies outside.
He promised that drugs prescribed as long as they are available are given to persons with disability for free.
The Minister of Transport and Aviation, Leonard Balogun Nkrumah, has handed over air tickets to 5 mechanics of the Sierra Leone Road Transport Corporation to pursue a course in China for the maintenance of the 100 buses brought from China some 18 months ago. Training of mechanics of the SLRTC is in the package of total cost of the 100 buses. The presentation of the air tickets took place at the office of the Minister of Transport and Aviation at Yuyi Building in Freetown. Sheikh Ismaila reports.
These mechanics are going to receive 1 month course in China for them to be well positioned for the maintenance of the 100 buses brought from China some 18 months ago. Training of mechanics, provision of spare parts and other services were part of the total cost of the 100 buses. The handing over of the air tickets to these mechanics to pursue a course in China is in adherence to the agreement to ensure capacity is built for the long life of the buses. The Minister of Transport and Aviation, Leonard Balungu Kuruma, said training was part of the total package of $12 million. He said that the mechanics are expected to return to Sierra Leone in a month's time to give their best to the Sierra Leone Road Transport Corporation.
5 tickets to mechanics of the Sierra Leone Road Transport Corporation in connection with the 100 buses project. They will be going to China for training, and the training is part of the bus package. As you all know, the cost of the buses and the package as a whole was $12 million, and that includes the cost of the buses, it includes 2 years worth of spare parts, it includes machinery for the workshop, and it also includes training. As part of the training, we've had a Chinese team that has been resident here at the SLRTC for the past 18 months, which is almost the life of the buses now since they arrived. And the 5 mechanics that are going to China after today is also part of that package.
Mr. Kuruma said that government is planning to bring home more buses to ease the transportation problem across the country. The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Transport and Aviation, Abubakar Kiru, and the general manager of the Sierra Leone Road Transport Corporation, Bokari Louis Kamara, both encouraged the mechanics to concentrate on what they'll be doing in China, and when they return, they put into practice what they are going to gain from the People's Republic of China. Reporting for SLBC News, I'm Sheikh Ismaila.
The Acting Minister of Health and Sanitation, Zulaihat Cooper, has expressed government's commitment to collaborate with partners to ensure access to medicines and other medical supplies in all government hospitals in the country. She made the statement while opening the Continuous Results Monitoring and Support System and Review meeting at Katko International Hotel, Wilkinson Road in Freetown. Joseph Stanley has the story.
As Madam Cooper said, reforms are ongoing within the health ministry, especially in the context of the President's Ebola recovery plan. She added that the strategic framework is essential for the government to ensure that the health sector meets the needs of the people, and called on all to focus on the goals as expressed in these documents. The acting minister disclosed that the USAID-supported continuous results monitoring and supervision focuses on tracking the progress and performance of the public health facility pharmaceutical supply chain management system. Madam Zulaihat Cooper described the continuous result monitoring and supervision as a new, simple, reliable and cost-effective designed to bring to the health supply chain infrastructure, and that the ministry will give all the support that will be required to ensure improved access to pharmaceuticals and services.
I hope that at the earliest opportunity, it will be possible for key personnel at all levels of the supply chain infrastructure here in Sierra Leone may be supported to further expand and consolidate their local CRMS knowledge and experience through well-structured studies to one of such countries.
The System for Improved Access to Pharmaceuticals and Services Country Director Mutara Sisi revealed that CIAP has 3 components that is in line with the government 10 to 24 months Ebola recovery plan, with emphasis on governance, coordination and procurement, among others.
There are 3 components of this project, each of them well rooted in government's 10 to 24 months Ebola recovery plan. You remember that the key result area one of the sub-initiatives under the guidance of Dr. Siran Kamara is supply chain. Key result area 2 under the guidance of Dr. Jambai is data for decision making. And when we come later on to tell you about the continuous result monitoring that we have been implementing, we are focused in that government recovery plan. We never go away from that.
The USAID advisor, Stacey Lamon, outlined the importance of intense coordination of efforts and resources to ensure improved access to pharmaceuticals and services, and that CIAPS is one of the most reliable partners that will provide the services the people need. Several other speakers underscored the importance of the meeting, designed to enhance concrete action to strengthen the public health pharmaceutical supply chain. SLBC News, Joseph Stanley reporting.
The West African Association for Development of Artisanal Fishing is training people within the fishing sector on improved methods of fishing. The training is part of a sub-regional effort to improve the fishing industry in West Africa. Mariama Denkinkanu has the story.
The Sierra Leone fishing market is faced with a lot of challenges regarding meeting with international standards. Also, fish in the local market is difficult to access, as fishmongers are complaining about the scarcity of fish in the country. It appears as if government and the private sector should provide support to the fishery industry to make fish available in the market. Consultant from the Ministry of Fisheries, Dr. Saliu Sako, said reasons for the scarcity of fish in the market are due to bad fishing practice, lack of equipment, and the increase in the population of fishermen.
The fish is in the water, but if you take it, you are supposed to take small and allow the population to regrow, to replenish. Fish is a renewable resource, unlike diamonds where you have a fixed amount of stones or gems on the ground. Once you pick all of them, there is nothing left. With fish, you need to take a given amount, which we call sustainable, maximum sustainable yield. How much you take so that the others that you leave would replenish themselves is important. And most often, you take the big ones, the old ones, that maybe are no longer reproducing, and you leave the younger ones. But if you take the baby ones that are supposed to replenish the stocks, then you collapse the fisheries.
The president of the Artisanal Fishermen Union, Thomas Otemu Toure, said the training will capacitate them on how to advocate and lobby for funds from their sponsors. He said his organization has undergone a lot of training for the fishing sector in the country to meet international standards. He also said the union is au fait with the different modalities for structuring and management of equipment, but are unable to implement it. Public Relations Officer, Sierra Leone Artisanal Fishermen Union, Woody Baki Kouma, said the fishing sector in the country should improve the sanitation aspects of the way fishes are handled in the country.
And this cannot be without the input of the government. One, the first thing that we are always crying to government is for them to address is the area of the sanitation. Sanitation is one major issue that needs to be addressed in this country in terms of fisheries for us to meet the international standard. And also we are always talking about this issue of this illegal, unregulated and unreported activities that led the country to be given a yellow card by the European community. So with the effort of government to address these two burning issues, then I'm sure actually Sierra Leone will be upgraded for us to be allowed to export our fish street products to the European Union's market.
A fishmonger at the Aberdeen market said she has never been trained on how to handle fish for international standard and expressed dismay that they as fishmongers would constrain the lot if Sierra Leone begins to export fish to other countries. Fatmata Sise said fish is too expensive in the market and that she is running at a loss as she has to pay school fees for her children out of the proceeds she gets from selling her fish.
Fish no dey go fish fish dey right now but now say no profit so losses when you go to the na new price pollock plant buy 150 now when you no get 260,000 they buy pollock small cartoon na 320 big cartoon for pollock but where the money come you no easy fish don dey now so we dey beg the government make dem go na the fisheries there make dem put the price down we dey suffer. Now they don't get fish, now they will pay school fees. We not get nothing for do. Now they will get, but when you go buy enough.
The Irish ambassador to Sierra Leone, Kathleen Campbell, has presented a letter of credence to President Ernest by Kuruma at State House. Raza Bashkumara sent in this report. In her presentation, Madam Kathleen Campbell said in a short time in Sierra Leone, she has already seen evidence of the excellent cooperation between the two countries. She observed that Ireland has had a long presence in the country through almost 150 years of Irish missionaries and 4 decades of service by Dr. Wadi Aboud as Ireland's honorary consul. The ambassador-designate disclosed that the former Irish Aid Office was upgraded to an embassy 2 years ago to reflect the long-term commitment of Ireland's work in the country. Madam Campbell added that at this time, Sierra Leone became one of Ireland's key partner countries in Africa, which she said was a high-level commitment set out in the Ireland's international development policy. One World, One Future. She revealed that as a guiding principle in that document is support for national development plans, and with that in mind, the Irish government has endowed to align their priorities with those of the government of Sierra Leone. The ambassador-designate went on that the agenda for change and most recently the presidential recovery priorities are their pathways as they work together to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. She informed President Ernest Bai Koroma that the Embassy of Ireland recently agreed a transitional country strategy from 2016 to 2017, which has a 5-year vision that the Irish government will use to guide them in the years ahead. Madam Kathleen Campbell further disclosed that they have also expanded the embassy team with additional program staff to support the work.
Your Excellency, I would like to commend you for the work of your government in ending the Ebola crisis. Your comprehensive and joined-up response has been deeply appreciated in Ireland. I want to thank you also for receiving our Minister for Development Cooperation here during that time and our Secretary-General in the more recent past. Just last week, the Department's Director for Africa visited Sierra Leone for a review of our programme and a meeting with our partners. It was a very rewarding visit, confirming our objectives for the years ahead in a number of sectors.
Receiving the letters of credence by which Mr. Michael Hodgins, President of Ireland, has accredited Ambassador Kathleen Campbell of Ireland to the Republic of Sierra Leone, President Ernest Bai Koroma also acknowledged the kind sentiments and fraternal greetings the ambassador has conveyed to him, the government and people of Sierra Leone for her distinguished head of state. The president in turn requested the envoy to convey to her president his best wishes of the president's personal well-being and happiness and for the continued prosperity of the people of Ireland.
Towards the promotion of good governance, security, justice, healthcare, youth and women's empowerment. We are encouraged by our government's desire to develop bilateral relations in agricultural sector to improve the nutrition and food security of farmers and their families. This is why my government strongly believes that to open an embassy in Ireland will be strategic in establishing full diplomatic engagement between our two countries.
Also at State House, the ambassador-designate of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the Republic of Sierra Leone, His Excellency Sulaiman Saleh Al Fura, also presented his credentials to President Ernest Bai Koroma. Ambassador Sulaiman Saleh Al Fura said the custodian of the two Holy Mosque has asked him to convey his regards and commitment of his consideration to President Ernest Bai Koroma and to express his wishes of good health and prosperity for the President, progress and well-being for his people and the country, and to receive President Koroma's attention and support. He seized the occasion to note the good political, economic and commercial relations that link the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the Republic of Sierra Leone, as well as the cooperation of the two countries in the area of mutual concerns at both bilateral and international levels, in addition to the most recently welcome and participation of the Republic of Sierra Leone in the Islamic Alliance Against Terrorism. The success of his mission and enhancement of their relations in the benefits of the two countries and peoples. Receiving the letters of credence, President Ernest Bai Koroma deeply appreciated the kind sentiments the ambassadors conveyed to him, the government and people of Sierra Leone, on behalf of the distinguished head of state. Reciprocating, the President conveyed his warm greetings and sincere wishes to Her Majesty, well-being and happiness, as well as the continued progress and prosperity of the people of Saudi Arabia. He disclosed that the Republic of Sierra Leone and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have enjoyed many years of warm and friendly relations, and as an envoy, has highly observed many Sierra Leoneans have been to Saudi Arabia to pursue educational and other interests, including the yearly pilgrimage to Mecca. President Ernest Bai Koroma noted that at the same time several Saudi nationals continually find their way to Sierra Leone, and they have contributed in diverse ways, especially in the country's development. Over 300 pupils have benefited from teaching and learning materials from a group called Organization for Barik Pikin Education. The donation is to support underprivileged pupils residing within the Wilberforce Barracks community. The items were presented by the Minister of Sport Ahmed Kanu and the Chief of Staff Joint Force Command Colonel Mahmoud Bangura. Hawan Mosiri has a story.
Children of the military barracks who have not grown up as responsible citizens in society decided to aid these pupils in the same barracks to be educated by providing learning and teaching materials for them. As a new organization formed months ago, the Barik Pikin Education aims to encourage pupils within the military barracks across the country to be educated. Minister of Sport Ahmed Kanu, who was also born and grown up in the barracks, commended the organization for the idea in supporting children towards education. Ahmed Kanu pledged his continuous support towards the organization.
It's basically very, very rare. You see young people come together and say, let us pay back to our community. I'd like to applaud you, Mr. Chairman, and all the for that kind gesture. As has been mentioned by the chairman, some of us hail from these communities and we are very much proud of them, because in the past we have made what we are because we live through here and believe in the spirit of coming from the barracks. And I want to therefore challenge all of you that this opportunity is very rare. It has got to be seized, it has got to be utilized, and it has got to be put into full force.
Chief of Staff Joint Force Command, Colonel Mahmoud Bangura, who presented the items to the 30 outstanding pupils from the Wilberforce Barracks, calls on them to study hard to continue to be exceptional in their academic work. Colonel Bangura said that the gesture is a support in the educational pursuit of the children, as they will be serving the nation and humanity as well. Coordinator of the organization, Felix Bangura, says the motive of the group is to provide educational aid to less privileged children in various barracks across the country. He calls on those who have born and bred in any military barracks to join them so that they will be able to target more peoples within the barracks. SABC TV News Eye in Freetown, Haramosiri reporting.
To end news, here once again are the main points. British High Commissioner to Sierra Leone, Guy Warrington, has commended Sierra Leone for completing its second periodic review. Officials of the National Social Security and Insurance Trust, NASIT, have explained to staff of the SLBC about their activities. Chief Nursing and Midwifery Officer has reaffirmed her commitment to improve on nurses' professional conduct and no-cost recovery drugs at Connaught Hospital since June. Well, that's all in this edition of News Broadcast Live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. On behalf of the news editor Ibrahim Ansari and the rest of the team, I am Abubakar Bangura in Freetown. For more information of the programs, do send us an email to contact us at SLBC.sn. Thanks for watching the news. Good night and happy viewing.